Today we are going to be coding in features and coding off things that I don't like in my 340 using Bimmercode. It is an app that you can get on the App Store via Android or iPhone. And the great thing with Bimmercode is we can turn things on that we do want to have on the car. We can manipulate and change the features in the car and turn things off that we don't want to have on the car. This is typically one of the first things that I do to every car that I bring in. I like to go through and really customize the features and just the car in general to operate the way that I prefer. So in order to connect our phones to the cars, you can either use the Keys Motorsports OBD2 adapter, or you guys can use the OBDLink adapter as well. The difference between these two, if you guys are going to tune your car in the future, I'd say you probably want to go with the Keys one because this allows coding and tuning all in one adapter. The OBDLink one will be just for coding, so it's really up to you. I'll have them both linked down below, but obviously we are going to be inevitably tuning this car, so we will go ahead and use the Keys adapter today. If you guys are unfamiliar with Bimmercode and you really want like the full rundown on what it is and how to use it and what cars it works on, I'm going to link a video right here. Make sure you guys check that out. I've made a lot of videos on Bimmercode and you guys kind of already know the deal. Every time I get a car, I like to code in these features. So without further ado, let's hop into the car and get this thing coded. All right, so we're gonna take our Keys adapter and throw it down into the OBD2 port, which is right in the lower footwell area, right? Got that in, and then once we get that in, we can go ahead and put this thing into diagnostic mode, which is just 2 hits of the start-stop button with your foot off the brake. So you'll see I always have things like that pop up, which are just like warnings and stuff when I first start up the car. All those kind of things I'm going to be removing today with Bimmercode. All right guys, so once you have the Bimmercode app downloaded onto your phone and you have your OBD adapter connected to the car, you are now in diagnostic mode. We're gonna go ahead and connect Bimmercode, just hit connect. And then it is going to bring up a bunch of different chassis. We're gonna find our car. So BMW 3 Series is what we are in today. Continue. So Bimmercode is gonna bring up a bunch of different control modules, control units that we can go into to code this car. Tons of options. Everything from the head unit to the instrument cluster to the different domain bodies, the rear front electronic modules. We can change the safety features. There are so many different options when it comes to Bimmercode and what we can actually code into our cars. So I'm just gonna kind of run through and show you guys all the stuff that I'm gonna code right off the bat. It's gonna be real quick, real simple. But I really just start at the top control unit. I go into it, change anything I see on the front page, go back, code, and I just do that over and over again in each control unit. I don't really like to go into any of the expert mode stuff, and unless it's something that I really want to change. But if you feel like you are pretty experienced, by all means go for it. So first we're gonna hop into active sound design. That is fake engine noise that is being filtered into the cabin. I like to turn that off. So deactivated. And then we'll go up to code in the top right, start coding. Every time that you code, the car is gonna turn off and turn back on if you do have the car running. If you do not have the car running and you're not sure about the health of your battery, you should probably have the car on a battery charger just so you know your battery doesn't die while you're coding. That would be bad. All right, that is coded. Advanced crash safety module. So this is where we're gonna have a couple of different things that I'm gonna turn off in here. I am gonna turn off the seatbelt chime. No, I don't think you should be driving around without your seatbelt on, but there are a lot of times where I am just moving the car around in the parking lot, swapping these cars in and out of different garages for when I'm making videos. It just gets annoying having that chime on over and over again, so I'm just gonna turn it off just so I don't have it on in the car, but obviously I'm not telling you to go out there and drive with your seatbelt on. It's a bad idea. Right, seatbelt reminder, driver's seat, not active. Passenger seat, not active. Indicator, not active. Indicator passenger, not active. Already not active, it's kind of weird. Seatbelt indicator, rear seats, not active. Initial seatbelt reminder after start, not active. Cool. That's all the stuff we want to code there. Go ahead and code it. Bam. Back to the control units. Air conditioning, don't need to mess with that. All-around camera, not messing with that. Camera-based driver assistant, I don't care about that. Electronic transmission control. Let's see if there's anything in here. Sport automatic is already activated, don't need to mess with that. But if you don't have it, you can now do that in this application, which is pretty cool. Front electronic module, there's probably going to be a few things that I want to change in here. Your ambient lighting is all good. Ambient lighting brightness decoupling from the instrument cluster. So you can actually separate the instrument cluster and the ambient lighting when you change the brightness of it. You can separate that. Not really something I'm going to mess with. Angel eyes, parking lights, I'm going to leave all that. Auto start stop function off by default. Yeah, let's activate that because we want that off all the time. We don't really want to mess with auto start stop. God, I hate that. It's so annoying. Function memory's there, so it'll remember. That's good. You guys can do brake force display type if you want. If you want to do that, that's something you can do. It just flashes when you brake super fast. Made a bunch of videos on that. Convenient opening, leaving all that. Daytime running lights, leaving all of that. Yeah, looks like the most of this stuff I'll just leave. LED conversion, low beam, LED conversion side markers, LED conversion fog lights. So if you guys do LEDs in your fogs, you can change that. If you guys don't have like the folding and unfolding mirrors from the factory, you can go ahead and code that in here as long as you do have the mirrors that allow for it. Steering with paddles, if your steering wheel didn't come with paddles and you did the retrofit like I did on my previous F30, you can code that in here. So pretty cool. Lots of interesting stuff that you can do. Yeah, all this other stuff I'm gonna leave. So we're gonna go ahead and code it. I used to code like a ton of things into my F30, but now I just keep it pretty simple, like more like the functional stuff that daily driving use that just gets annoying after a while. I end up coding it out. You're gonna get a bunch of errors when you guys are coding. Things are gonna freak out a little bit, but it will be okay, I promise. I do have a company that sent me Apple CarPlay, so I'm gonna be coding that in. Front light electronics left, front light electronics right. You guys can go into that if you want. I'm not messing with that. Head unit, let's see what we got in here. I'll probably end up changing like the startup screen, the animation, stuff like that. I usually like to mess with that a little bit. All right, so now that we're in head unit, there's a bunch of different stuff that we can change in here. You guys can change out the warning chimes, like different things, you know, Rolls Royce, stuff like that. Mini, BMW, yada yada. Start screen is on animation. Right now we are on the connected drive. I'm gonna do M variant 2. Everything else, sport displays are active. Let's change those to red. You guys can do video in motion and all that stuff if you want. Warning at startup, not active. And that should be everything in there. So the warning at startup, you'll see like a disclaimer that comes up every time you start your car and you have to like click out of it in the head unit. Super annoying, so we just take that out of there. All right, so once we've coded that, we're gonna head back to the main control unit area. So let's check out instrument cluster. Not sure if there's anything I want to code in here, but we'll take a look. I would actually like to do the 3D cluster, the like full digital one that I think Key sells it. Might have to do that. Startup logos and performance. Yeah, everything in here is already what I want. I'm not gonna mess with that. Integrated chassis management. Active cruise control, default distance. Add the Sport Plus drive mode for all cars that do not have this option by factory. So if you don't have Sport Plus, this is something that you can add in there. I already have it in mind, so it's not really something I need to do. The cool thing with the Supra is I coded it to start in Sport Plus, which I wish I wish I was able to do that with this car. It says you can start it in eco mode, but this ain't no Prius. We don't want nothing to do with that. Rear electronic module. There might be one thing in here that I want to change. I like to have the LCI taillights running all the time with my DRLs. So if that's an option, I will turn that on. With how it is right now, you have to turn on your parking brakes for the LCIs to go on, or it has to be nighttime and your full headlights have to be on. I just think the LCIs look really good. Why not flaunt them? So I like to code them to be on at all times. Here's all the brake force display stuff you can mess with. Daytime running lights. Oh, okay, so here we go. Daytime running lights, tail outer part, daytime running lights, tail inner part. So if you retrofit your LCI tail lights, you can activate those in here too. See, Bimmercode is smart. They've added a lot of things that people were just looking for a bunch, and like back in the day, we had to go into expert mode and code all that stuff in. But, you know, LED conversion, brake light, so there's a bunch of conversion stuff in here. I will change out the reverse lights to LED, so at some point we will have to use that. We're gonna do daytime running lights to active, and daytime running lights inner and outer, both to active. I think that that's what we were looking for when I was talking about the LEDs just always running. Pretty sure that that's what that is. Cool, coding successful. We'll head back. Roof function center. Not really sure that there'll be anything in here that I want to code, but we'll take a look. All right, acoustical lock, unlock confirmation. Yeah, I already have that on here, so I'm not really worried about any of that. You guys can change the alarm sounds if you want. There's a bunch of different alarm sounds you can do. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna mess with any of that. Seat module driver, the last one. Easy entry seat movement. So this is something that you can change if you want to. If you have like a hard time getting in the car, like a bigger dude or something, you can change the easy seat entry. So every time you get out of the car, the seat like backs up and then basically prepares for you to get in. So then when you get in the car, close the door, the seat then moves back to your original position. Kind of convenient if you're like a bigger person and you like have a hard time like fitting in this car, but yeah, so that's all that's in here really. Heat seating stuff, I'm not gonna mess with that. So that is really everything that I code on all my cars. I don't really go like too crazy, I just do the basics. But after we're done coding, just hit disconnect, and then you guys close down the app and you can take out your OBD adapter. You don't need to keep that in to have the codes be active. So that was about 20 minutes of coding with the car just on in accessory mode, and yeah, everything's still good. Go ahead and start the car. Starts right up, no issues. No errors or anything. No seatbelt being off chime or warnings, which is one of the things that we coded. So yeah, you don't need to keep the adapter in order to retain any of the things that you've coded. You can go ahead and remove this. I usually just keep it in my glove compartment or over in the side, so I have it with me just in case. But yeah, it's super convenient, man, being able to code in all these features and just kind of like customize the car the way that you want it. Also, if you are going to tune your car, so a lot of people ask this question, like, if I tune my car, will it erase all the codes? No, it will not erase the codes. Tune the car, code the car. They are completely unrelated and they will not mess with each other. Also, if there's something that you like coded or a bunch of stuff that you coded that you didn't like and you want to revert, there's also a backup menu in the lower right corner of Bimmercode that you can go backwards and just like recode in the car how it was. Sometimes I get DMs from people who have like issues. They're like, oh, like I coded in this thing and now I don't like it, or I coded in this thing and it's doing something else weird. Just use your backup. Always just reuse your backup, or try just recoding the car. Sometimes like weird things happen, weird bugs happen, you just have to recode it and the car is fine. So that's my advice for you on that. So yeah, everything's good. This is, you know, just the basics of Bimmercode, man. We've done this so many times on this channel. I'm gonna put the daytime running lights on. We'll see if the rear lights stayed on, and they did. So that is something that I coded in. I just like to have those active all the time. I just think they look really good, so it's like, why not? So yeah, you guys, there you go. Simple coding tutorial. If you are not familiar with Bimmercode, highly suggest getting into it, man. It's really a game changer for our cars, and you can customize them the way that you want to. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up, you guys. Just getting these simple things out of the way before I start hitting you with the real modifications, which are gonna happen this week. So yeah, it's full gas, man. We got a lot of stuff coming for this car. The transformation is gonna be pretty drastic and it's gonna happen quick. Anyways, guys, everything you saw in this video will be linked down below. I appreciate you guys. Love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.